you guys. This is the video for chapter 25. I hope you enjoyed it. It was kicking my butt this week. I was working really hard on it, and like every day. I finally finished it. So excited to get it to you guys. But as I promised, I am going to do the Q&A. So some of you entered questions, and I'm going to answer them. Question number 1, it says, do you have a favorite character in one of your books? And I do. My favorite character is Tristan. I don't know why, I just like him a lot. I don't know, I'd like to marry him. He's pretty cool. And then, do I base my character in someone in real life? And the answer is no. I guess I get inspired by people and by characters that I read in books, but I never solely base somebody off of real life, or I haven't yet. A lot of the time they just tell me how they're gonna act. That sounds really like multiple personality disorder, but I promise I'm not crazy. But it's just, yeah, they just kind of tell me what they're gonna do, and I'm like, okay, so I write it like that. Also, one of you guys asked, how do you deal with writer's block? And this is a thing, I think I've probably talked to maybe 10 people about this on Wattpad already. Writer's block will hit you, and hit you hard when it does. It stinks, but you can always get over it. It's called writing. Write. Like, even when you feel like you're producing crap. Like, just write. I have a journal with me. This is my journal. It's fun. Oops, sorry, here you go. It's fun. I decorate it. It kind of makes it cool. But I write everything in it, and every day I do 30-minute free writing exercises where I get a prompt from a website. Actually, it's yeahwriters.tumblr.com. Message me if you want to know more about it, because I will happily give it to you. It has a lot of prompts, about 8 prompts a day, and I will use one of those prompts and do a 30-minute exercise just writing about that prompt. And that helps generate your ideas, get your creative juices flowing, just kind of get you thinking in the realm of writing characters and plots and things like that, which is really good, and it's a good exercise that you need. So yeah, that's how I deal with writer's block. I always have this journal, as I said, because if inspiration strikes, then I gotta get to it, you know? So I make sure to do that a lot, and just start writing. Like, it could be in the middle of Walmart, just sitting down in the middle of the aisle and just start writing. Like, you gotta do what you gotta do. Then another question says, how do you go about finishing your novels? This person got really frustrated because they knew the ending and they were really excited about the ending, but they have to write all the filler and all the other things that happen in a book, and they're like, I just want to write the ending and then I'm good. And I'm like, well, that's fine. You can write your book out of order. It's okay to do that. Wattpad doesn't help much because you do publish it to readers, so you don't want to publish the later chapters before the earlier ones, but just write them down. Like, I wrote I believe it's chapter 4 and 2 chapters from now, so chapter 27, before I started writing the rest. So I wrote them down real quick. I mean, it wasn't like a finished chapter or anything, but I wrote it down, made sure that I knew what I wanted, and it's a good thing. It's a really good thing to do that, because while you're inspired, you need to write it. You can go back and edit it, and it's fine later on. Normally it's better. So that's a good way of doing it, but whatever you do, don't quit. That would really stink. So, just keep on at it. It's called practice, you know. everybody has those novels that they get halfway through and they're like, I don't want to finish this. I mean, I have one. It's not even published on Wattpad. But it was one of my first books, and it's called Practice. Somebody else asked, what inspires you to write this story? By order of the king, I'm guessing. And I've been inspired by many things. A lot of them books, movies, TV shows. I am obsessed with anything Middle Ages and Arthurian legend, like King Arthur and Merlin, stuff like that. Oh my gosh. If any of you have read and seen pictures and maybe a couple of the songs that I post on things, yes, I'm obsessed with Merlin. So that's kind of where I get my inspiration from. And I heard once, it says, if you cannot find a book, then write it. And that kind of happened with Lies and Love and this book. Like, I couldn't find a book. Like, I knew what I wanted in the book. I wanted it to be about love, and I wanted it to be about adventure and sword fighting and all these things. And I was very specific about it. And then I noticed, I was like, I can't find a book like this anywhere. Like, I was looking for a week, couldn't find it. And so I'm like, well, why not? Let's just write one, see how it works out. So I did, and I thought it worked out pretty well. So that's just kind of what inspires the stories I write. The next one says, is your next book going to be about the Middle Ages, like in the same time period and all that kind of stuff? And I would say I'm not sure yet. Normally, I know what I'm going to write about towards the last 5 chapters of a book, and like write about next. And to be honest, I don't. And it's starting to kind of scare me. I don't have any, like, oh my gosh, I know I want to write about this. I know it, because that's how it was. I knew I wanted to write By Order of the King probably about 2 or 3 months before I finished Lies and Love. It was really hard because I was like fighting against 2 different story plots and trying to write one and trying to focus on the other, and it was really hard. But I'm not sure. I'm thinking about picking up Alaskan vignettes and taking off the chapters that I have up and actually start writing the story. That's kind of been playing on my mind ever since I started it, really, but I'm not sure about it yet, so we'll see. The last thing is, I've talked to a lot of you guys about, you guys who are unknown writers, people who don't have a lot of votes, don't have a lot of reads on Wattpad, and y'all are just kind of worried, and I just want to give you guys encouragement, where that's not a bad thing. Like, writing takes practice. Writing takes a lot of practice. And doing those kind of things, like just practicing doing 30-minute free writing exercises or anything like that, like, that's important, and that's part of the growing process. And publishing things on Wattpad and it not getting read, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. When I started out, for a good 2-3 months, I didn't have anything, like zip. I didn't have anything. And I had probably about 7 or 8 chapters of Lies and Love up. I had a couple of short stories up. Most of all the short stories that you see, I had up. The only things I didn't have up were Alaskan vignettes and my poetry. So it was really hard because I noticed that I wasn't getting a lot of attention for it, but I was growing, and I knew that as a writer. And votes and comments, they're all great, but that doesn't define you as a writer. What defines you as a writer is when you pick up and keep going, and like, it's okay that you don't get noticed. you just need to keep writing and bleed fiction or poetry. And so don't get discouraged. Just don't. It's hard to say that, but just don't. It'll be okay. And the more you practice, the more people will notice. Also, being active in the Wattpad clubs is good too. Not just promoting your story, but reading other people's and offering to do things for them. That's always good too. And using Tumblr, Twitter, and of course Facebook and Google Plus if you have it, that helps a lot as well. So just supporting your story on there is good too. So anyways, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of encouragement, and I hope you have a wonderful day reading the next chapter of By Order of the King. See you guys later.